I figured if I was going to be on this side of the camera, I was going to need a cocktail. So this week I thought we would take a look at 5 Hoyas that I've really been loving this week. First on the list is Hoya dennisii Frida. I've had this since October, and she's doing pretty well. Beautiful variegated leaves, and after a couple of weeks of settling in, she started to put out some really nice growth, and I need to do something about that so we don't mess up those new leaves. And we'll let her go like that for a little bit. The next Hoya on the list is this Hoya lacunosa Amarillo, which is just turned into a grow monster for me. He's putting out new leaves all the time, just getting ready to bloom. At first, I wasn't sure that I was going to like this Hoya because the leaves come in that rather pale color. And how would I know if I was killing the plant if the leaves are supposed to look like that? But he has settled in, he's growing like a weed, and I'm pretty happy about it. All this heavy lifting, you know. Next Hoya on the list is this Hoya latifolia Sarawak. I kind of got this on a whim. At one point I said to myself, I wanted a big leaf Hoya. And I thought that would work fine. And I was used to lacunosas, so when I bought big leaf, I was thinking rather than this, it was going to be this. And it's actually these. And they're just beautiful. And he's liking the additional light here in the sunroom, in the plant room. Plant room's what's helped get through the winter. It's 75 and sunny in here most days, when most of those days in southern Rhode Island has been gray and miserable. Hoya latifolia Sarawak. Number 4 on this week's top 5 is Hoya NS12-323. I've had this one since September of this year. It looks so much like a Dischidia. I love the pattern in the leaves. I love the new growth. This thing branches like crazy. And once settled in, once it found the reservoir in the self-watering pot, it's just been putting out all kinds of new growth. And the last Hoya on the list is none other than Hoya spartioides. This one's been here since June. And I was sure I was going to kill this plant. It was so strange and so different than most any other Hoya I had. But I thought I would try it anyway. It took to pawn readily. It loves the lights. And it has been putting out new growth nonstop. And a few months ago, it started blooming. And I was very excited. My Hoya spartioides, it didn't die. not only didn't it die, it was going to bloom. So I kept an eye on it. I kept an eye on it. I kept an eye on it because I knew that Hoya spartioides only bloomed for a day. And I came in one morning and the buds were open. I thought I'll get some pictures really quick. And by the time I went and got the camera set up and some lights, the buds had started to close. And I thought, that's really strange. I must have missed it. And that's when I did a little more research and read a little more carefully. And Hoya spartioides blooms for one night. So those buds fell off and I kept an eye open and it was worth the wait. This has a little bit of sun stressing on it, which doesn't seem to bother it at all. And there's plenty of new buds setting up and getting ready to come in. This one may be the next, or maybe this one. If you were afraid of Hoya spartioides, don't be. It just wants some light and it just wants a good drink. And it'll do fine for you. So that's it for this week's end. Oh, join me again next video, hopefully next week, when we'll take a look at some more Hoyas. I'm not a botanist. I'm not a scientist. I'm a guy who grows a bunch of plants. So the way I discovered most of them was by seeing other plant people put out videos with them. So I'm going to do the same so you can discover some new plants as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Have a good weekend.